within like
Psych.
a year.
That's the wrong number.
Dude, would you rather have, and I think I already know your answers,
Oh.
a yacht or a plane?
Do you have to pay for any of the upkeep?
No, all the upkeep is paid for. You can leave it parked at any marina, any airport, the gas, the service, all paid for. And these are like,
Comes with a pilot, captain?
yep, top-notch service too. Yeah, so
I'd go plane.
I know you would.
My gut says plane.
I would say plane too.
But yacht?
It would be nice, dude.
The
Just live on that yacht, bro.
Yeah, with the yacht, you can take residence there, you know?
Yeah. So
You
that
can't on a plane.
is a factor versus the plane, though, where you could just go wherever. You would still be spending money.
But with my current lifestyle, it would be nice to just live on a yacht.
And technically, you can go pretty much almost anywhere with the yacht as well. Just it
would take a little
10
bit
times
longer.
as long, which isn't wrong. It's not bad either.
No,
it's
so
like,
you're still living on it. So it's like, doesn't matter.
yeah.
That's a tough one. I would take plane, though, still.
My gut says plane, so I'll go with plane.
I think I'll also go with plane. I'll just be homeless, but in Paris,
Yeah, so that's
and
fine.
then in Tokyo.
So you'd fit right in Paris. Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
Smelly Nation. Guys, my name is
shaved
Charlie,
pits. My name's DJ.
And my name is Sean.
and this is the 3 a.m. podcast where we tell scary stories.
Dude, I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too,
Wow,
bro.
dude. I love you too, man.
No, the listeners.
Oh, F.
Hey.
But I also
Wait.
love you, DJ,
Yeah.
and you too, the listeners.
It's a circle.
Anyway,
Okay, just the other day, we posted on our Instagram, what questions do you have for 3 a.m.? So we're going to answer a couple of them right now, and we'll put those in the episode. So, an obscure hobby you have or fact that we don't know.
and who's that from?
This is from Lexi Fuel. Obscure hobby
Or fact? Is that what she said?
or fact that
Okay.
about you that we don't know.
So my left hand is double jointed, and I can pick up. So you grab a cup like this, right?
Yeah.
I can bend my fingers all the way
The
back
opposite way.
and pick up the cup, and it looks gross.
From 10 feet away, from afar, you'll be like, oh, that's the way you grab a cup. And then I close the distance and notice, oh my,
It's not the way
Dear
you
God.
hold it.
you are physically deficient.
And so I honestly didn't know I could do that till like a year ago,
Damn.
and I just started doing it. And then so one of my favorite things is to, when me and my wife are walking, I'll run up to her and act like I want to hold hands, and I'll give her the old backward handy, and she'll interlock her fingers with me for like half a second, and then look down, and she's like,
Shudders in fear.
yeah, and it just shakes that off and then runs away. So that's one obscure fact about me.
I have 2 different colored eyes.
He do, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah. They're the exact same eyes of my grandma, too, which is why it's weird.
Dude, maybe you're your grandma reincarnated.
Except for I was born before she died. That's trippy, bro. How do you explain that?
She's just like jumping in and out of each.
Dude, that's an episode of Black Mirror. right there.
Yeah, Sean's left eye is
Left eye
Crooked.
is
the
hazel.
color.
lazy.
I look to the left with my left eye, and when I look to the left with my left, my right looks right.
Shout out Nolan.
So all Dude, that's called dyslexia. You don't know the difference between directions and colors.
Lexia, bro.
Dyslexia.
So you have a hazel and like
A brown, yeah.
I think you two might know already, but I don't know why this is the first one that comes to my mind, but I was the Easter Bunny at the mall one year. I was like 10 years old, and one of our family friends owned all the, like Kodak had stores in all the malls in Hawaii, but these Kodak shops took care of like the special event photography in the mall. So like Santa during Christmas and then Easter Bunny. And he came up to me, he's like, dude, you want to make some money? I was like, yeah. I did it for a week. It was terrible. Dude, mothers trust that you just know how to hold a baby. And
You were 10?
I was 10. I had a 3-year-old brother, so yes, I've held a baby before. But it's a whole different game when you are in a furry suit.
Yeah,
And I can barely see.
Just sweating your balls
It's so
off,
hot.
too?
And they just come and toss their baby.
And you're trying to yiff this child.
Yes.
Do not Google.
Yeah. Do not Google yiffing. Google's yiffing. Yeah, it was rough. And people inside of fursuits don't smile. At least I didn't. When they're like, smile for the picture.
You're just depressed.
It's like, I'm just crying.
But did you make that money, though?
That Skrilla, dude, $10 an hour when you're 10
Wow.
is on top of the world.
So, thanks, Lexi.
Thank you. I'm going to try and do at least 4 or 5 more.
Cool. Let's do that. This is fun.
Okay. When will you bring back the first 3 episodes? Aiden Hatch.
That's my little bro. Aiden is a very supportive listener of ours.
Dude, love you, Aiden.
Yep. Love you, man.
But we will bring those back for patrons. We'll post them probably this week.
I believe we mentioned it before, but when we first started, we had one crappy mic and we were in Charles's apartment.
That was a basement apartment,
But-
in the kitchen,
With a loud air conditioning.
and
And
creaky
refrigerator.
camp chairs.
Yeah, creaky camp chairs and one mic in the middle of all of us. And there's so much background noise. Just the quality of the audio is so terrible. You can hear our chairs squeaking and everything. And our voices are echoing. Like the quality is so bad. We just didn't think it's up to standard. So we didn't want to post that. But there are good stories on there.
Some of my personal bests are on the first 3.
I know for sure one of my very best stories is on the first 3 as well. And I get told that from
Oh, yeah.
people
Yeah,
I
I
know
think episode
and don't
3
know who message
had
us.
one of my best.
Yeah. So
Dang,
We'll
bro.
be bringing them back.
we'll throw it on Patreon because we know that once you're paying us money, you already accepted us at that point.
Yeah,
So
we know we won't lose your support. I think the issue was we progressed super fast as far as like audio quality.
Yeah, and we were just upset with the quality originally, so we chose to take those off the air. So,
And the problem was when we were like, hey, listen to our podcast, people
That's
would
what we-
naturally go to episode 1
yep.
and they'd be like, oh, it's kind of hard to listen to. And I was like, no. Start at
Give it
like
till
4 or
episode
5.
4.
we would tell people to start at episode 4, which is when we started upgrading our equipment and the audio quality was better. Then it was like, then why do we have episodes 1 through 3 up? People have suggested, and we even talked about it, recreating those episodes and retelling those stories, which I think would be fine. But I don't think we'll ever capture like the raw reaction.
Yeah.
Because there's some like we try to keep our stories under wraps and not tell each other about it, so we can get each other's reactions from it.
Like when we come together to record, I'm like, you got a good one tonight? And it's like, yeah, it's about,
Wait.
don't tell me. Yeah, it's like, wait. Like we really do try to hide what we're going to talk about from each
Yeah,
other.
even when we're out and about or whatever, hanging out outside of the podcast,
We have
and
to
somebody
like,
is like,
not say our
dude,
story.
I found this one story, and we're like, dude, stop talking, save it.
Yeah. Because we are actually friends and we do actually hang out outside of this.
All right, here's
next.
another one
Thanks, Aiden.
Yeah.
from Olivia Chedwally.
She's giving us stories.
Dope. Who's the most to least mature of all of you?
Oh, dude. It honestly, I'm going to
Okay.
speak for all of us. It just depends in what regard.
That's actually probably
Because we
a
are
good
all
point.
over the map. That's a good question.
That
dude.
is a good question.
Like for finances and planning,
Sean.
DJ and I are like, Sean, you do all that.
Yeah.
For anything creative, it's like, Sean, don't do any of that.
What about just like adulting though, mature? I guess that's the first thing.
I would
thought.
I would say Sean is
I would still say Sean, and then Charles and me. Sorry. I'm just gonna put myself at the bottom. Everyone's like, yeah, that sounds.
Yeah,
right.
no, totally.
See, but we're all thinking about different things where we would put each other last, where I would put myself last, like any type of relationship. So not mature. That's a good question. Good question.
It just depends on what area.
It really does. What would you do if your reflection smiled back at you? From Mo Fez.
I would get scared.
I would kill myself.
I just watched the movie Us last night,
Oh, damn, bro.
which
That's
is
true.
that exactly. Us, directed by Jordan Peele, came out last year. Great movie. My girlfriend had never seen it, so she wanted to. that part's so creepy when she's standing, or she's standing back to back with the mirror, and she turns around, and her reflection doesn't.
She's like in a fun house, right?
In
Yeah.
a fun house, and at the end you see that the reflection turns around, and it's not. It's a twin. It's not a spoiler, but even if it was, too late. If I saw a reflection smiling back at me, I don't know.
I would 100% honestly, I would get so spooked. I would back out of the thing. I would like tell someone I trusted, like one of you, try to recreate it, and then if couldn't recreate it, forget about it.
Bro, I'd smile back at it so that it wasn't different than me. Get
Dude,
wrecked.
I'd turn around and take a selfie with it.
That'd be lit.
Oh, that would be funny, dude.
I would take my clothes off slowly and assert dominance.
Okay, let's do 2 more and then save some for next episode. Let's see. If you're about to go on a road trip, what drink and snack do you pick up at the gas station? From Anna Shea.
Hells yeah.
Anna, that's my girlfriend's best friend.
Oh, dude, good question.
That is a good question.
Shout out Anna. Hot Cheetos,
And drink?
Smart Water.
Have you no respect?
I know. I am dirtying my beehole.
Yeah. He was like, let's take a risk.
Yeah. How long are we in this car for? 10 hours? Get those Cheetos extra hot.
Let's
please.
make it harder for myself.
Yeah.
Dude, he's like hot Cheetos and a pack of wet wipes.
I go peanut M&Ms, like the shareable size, because I'm going to eat all that myself. And
But not share it.
not share. Shareable size for myself.
I get it.
And dude, if I'm driving, it differs from when I'm not driving. Because if I'm driving, I have to get something caffeinated. It's usually going to be like a Bang or something like that. If I'm not driving, it'll be like a Gatorade or a Powerade.
Feel. So much of this depends on how much money I have at the time.
Well, you're going on a road trip.
Yeah. It's like, am I getting Voss or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Am I what's it called? Springing for the Smart Water with the sports tip
Or
Oh.
Arrowhead.
That's lit.
Yeah.
Or the effing Dasani, dog.
Poo-poo water.
For like 10 years, my go-to every trip I did was a half gallon of yellow Gatorade
Oh,
and a Snickers.
Nice.
Until I realized that made me nauseous more than anything in the world. Like
Really?
every time that made me so nauseous. So I've switched, and my favorite snack is pretzels. I'm an old
Solid.
man.
Hard pretzels?
Dude, like stick pretzels, bro, that keeps me awake for hours. I can eat like 3
What are
pounds
those
of
ones
them.
that are so
There
super
is
good?
one that I love. I think it's Dots.
Dots.
Dots are lit,
yeah.
but those are like $20.
Yeah.
They're so
bougie ass.
expensive. I'm a broke boy, dude.
Dude, whenever Delta gives me
Pretzels.
I get so mad.
If it's not
because-
that Biscoff cookie, bro, I'm not down.
Dude, give me that cookie.
Last time I went home, they had Cheez-Its, which is the
Oh.
best cheese snack, not including Doritos.
Dude, I had some goldfish this weekend. Goldfish are classic,
Goldfish are classic,
but Cheez-Its are probably
I choose Cheez-Its above Goldfish, and what else is there?
nips.
Cheese nips.
Ooh,
Cheese nips?
bro.
First of all, change your name. That's perverted. Come on. Cheese
I'm
whiz.
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Cheese whiz.
Ooh, Leaning Tower of Cheesa, bro.
So by this point, we've lost all our listeners.
Okay, we'll give them one more question and then save some more for another episode. Naptime Crafts asked us, what is the coolest place you've been to?
Hard question, bro.
That is a tough one.
During quarantine, my living room, dog.
I saw a tweet from my good friend Miranda, and I think I sent it to the group chat, but it was like, throw your dart and travel to this destination. And it was like floor plans of a regular house.
Looks like I'm going to the bathroom.
Coolest place.
This is genuinely super hard. Sean and I have had the luxury, and DJ. Sean and I have just been on more together of traveling all over the world. We save up every year, blow our whole wad on a one big trip.
Bro, this is why this quarantine is so tough right now. Is because the trips we had planned are,
Yeah.
we're not doing those.
You guys at least got to get some trips in March.
Oh yeah, I did.
You
Right
guys-
before they
you-
closed the UK, bro.
You guys got a couple.
True.
We were all going places. I was going somewhere at the end of the month, and I had to cancel mine.
DJ had planned like this huge thing for him and his girlfriend for her birthday. And like that all got canceled. And so they're sitting around in quarantine all sad, just getting texts like, you should be boarding the plane right now. You should be going to this beautiful thing.
Okay, I think I could give like a top 3 maybe.
Okay, shoot.
One has got to be Patagonia. Just being like out there in Patagonia National Park was
The end of the earth.
it was awe-inspiring. Number 2, El Nido, Palawan, Philippines. Was just so cool
And free.
and free. And like you could do whatever you wanted to do. It was honestly, it was dope. And 3 would be New Zealand. That was probably my top 3 right there.
I'm going to say I was with Sean on all 3 of those. Those are great. But for the purpose of picking different ones, Cusco, Peru was one of the most fun places I've ever been. Insanely cheap,
Yeah.
which I sound like a big fat cheap skate. But it legitimately was like you would buy a 3-course meal, dessert, appetizers, and it's like $12. But you have like, you
so much food.
you ate like a huge entree, a couple appetizers, dessert, and drinks. It was like 12.
Living like kings.
Yeah, and it was 12. 12 was expensive.
Yeah.
It was like $6 to $12. Great food, insanely cool town. It's so high up, the elevation is unreal.
Oh, dude, that was so hard to breathe there. I was dying.
Everyone's super nice. It was cool. You could like feel the past there. There's places because America, a lot of places in America, it just doesn't feel like there's history there. I don't know how to explain it. And then you go to Italy or you go to Europe, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, there's so much more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in Cusco, I felt connected to the past there a lot.
Dude, I completely forgot about our Hawaii trip. Like, that's been one of my favorites, like, we've ever been on.
Okay, I'm gonna say, dude, Oahu, DJ's house in Oahu, just the whole vibe of the island. This is the most cliche thing I could ever say, but I'm gonna say it because it's true. We got off the plane and I felt the spirit of the island, dude. I don't know how to explain it. It's so much more than
Got
humidity.
laid right once he got there, bro.
We got off the plane and it's something inside of me was just like, this is good. I like this. And I'm not a woohoo person or whatever, but I'm being dead serious. The spirit there, or like the feeling I had there, was like so good. I'm gonna say Oahu, DJ's house.
I think for me, thank you, dude. I think for me, 2 places. First, outdoors, and second, city. First one was when I was, I think, 13. We went camping with a bunch of kids from my church in the area. And we went camping in this valley on Oahu called Kualoa. If you've been to Oahu to visit, you've likely been either to Kualoa or past Kualoa. Super beautiful. If you've seen any movie or TV show where they film in Hawaii, almost all the time it's filmed in Kualoa Valley.
So is that Jurassic Park and stuff?
Yep, exactly. We got to camp in that valley, and we were there for about 3 days, I think. And I remember one morning waking up to the sound of the ocean,
That's dope.
and I was in a tent. I unzipped the door, poked my head out, and we were at the mouth of the valley. I could see this whole valley, and the sun was just coming up. Everything's so green. There are no buildings at all. And dude, the way the light was hitting, it was just golden green. There was this crazy mist going across the whole valley with like a rainbow. And I remember thinking that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So, Kualoa Valley, beautiful.
Hells yeah.
Anybody can go there for a price.
Not right now, bro.
Not right now.
Hawaii ain't letting no one in.
Yeah.
That's always the best, too, when you're not expecting something to be fun or you're not expecting to do something. And then it's like one of the funnest things. Like, what was it? The luge what was that, a luge that we did in
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that was so like
We signed up for this thing and we're like, do you guys want to do this like downhill luge? And everyone's like, that sounds lame. But I guess we'll kill an hour before like our other really
Our
fun
mountain
excursion we
biking,
had planned. So we're like, whatever. And so we buy it and we go wait in line and everyone's like, ugh. And then we do it.
It
And
was
8 seconds into
so
it,
fun.
everyone is like, holy crap. This is the most fun I've ever had in my life. You're on this like go-kart and you're going down this insane course, like in these beautiful picturesque mountains in New Zealand. And you're racing and there was 12 of us.
yeah.
And so we're all racing down this island. It gets real. Jordan and Jordan's cousin, Kevin, not Kevin from previous episodes, Jordan's cousin, are like
going at it.
going so hard. Kevin runs him off the road and Jordan like rolls.
Yeah, Jordan's
scrapes
like
his
Jordan
arm.
has like toad stats where he's so fast but zero weight.
Yeah. So Kevin's like Bowser.
Just throws him into the lava.
But it got like so serious. We went through and everyone looked at each other and we're like, are we about to do this again? So we did it again.
That was seriously fun, dude.
Yeah, it was so fun. But that is true. Like when you're not expecting, you have low expectations and they're just
Yep.
blown.
Yep. But
Awesome.
thanks for
That
the
was fun.
questions. Also, last thing, shout out to Dan DV Foos. He asked for a shout out. That was his question. So we shouting him out.
Dude, he was our very first patron.
Bro, he's been listening for a long time.
Yep.
Shout him out.
Shout out.
Thanks
Dude,
for believing.
When all this is said and done, I mean the quarantine, I will shake your hand.
There you go.
I'll find you and shake your hand.
I'll find you.
You'll wake up one night. We'll be at the foot of your bed.
My hand extended.
Okay, if we didn't get to your question tonight, we are going to get to them in our next episodes as well. But for right now,
Also, send us more questions if you want.
100%.
But wait, I have to tell y'all a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Real quick before we like jump into it. This weekend, I did go canyoneering with a small group of people. So I got to fulfill one of my life dreams, which is travel in a van. Shout out Pukana. His real name's Dom. He's the man. He hooked it up. We went in a van. We went camping in the desert down in South Utah near Hanksville. So dope. So beautiful. We did these huge rappels and he like set it all up with the ropes and stuff. That's like his wheelhouse, you know? And so that was really fun. And at the end of a couple of these places where you cannot get to unless you're like rappelling and stuff, he's like, yo, there's some petroglyphs over here. You trying to go see them? So I didn't go to one of them, but he took a photo of it and showed me. But I went to the other ones. So I'm just going to show you guys real quick. I don't know the history of them at all, but they're just eerie. So this first one I'm going to show you is in this arch that's probably like 300 feet tall. Huge arch. And it's just in the middle at the bottom.
what the? Why is that there?
I don't know, dude.
Seems unnecessary.
That's cool, dude.
So what does it look like?
Looks like a person.
Looks like Wakanda, dude.
It does look like Wakanda.
With the shoulder shrugging, mean mugging. It looks like a man in some type of cape. And is that supposed to be like a wild boar upside down that he's caught?
So I was just like listening. There was like several other teams that were climbing near us. And I heard one guy say that it's called like a queen and her dog. But I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate. Anyway, it's
maybe.
ominous, dude. And I think it's like 6 feet tall. It's a huge petroglyph.
Dang.
That's cool.
And then the second one, like I said, is the one I've seen. Actually, let's see if like. So this one I actually walked by, and for some reason, they're basically stick drawings. So it's like not super scary, but I was staring at this one, and this one creeped me out. And I'll show you why, for one simple reason. And this one I didn't even see, and he like pointed it out to me. But as you can see, on the left here is two men. And they're standing next to...
Dude, is that Aku?
from Samurai Jack?
Yeah, from Samurai Jack.
Okay, legitimately though, it looks like that.
Yeah, with like the...
But what does it look like? Like, describe it.
Two small men standing next to A big dude. Are those his legs or is he floating in the air above them?
I see 2 legs here.
Okay. But he's way bigger than them. Twice as big.
So there's like 2 stick figures of clearly that are men, and then they're standing next to one that is twice the size and is like built, and it's a different shape almost.
Someone from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Why would they draw that?
And it has like horns.
4.
And the head shape is different, the shoulders, the arms. It's just creepy.
That is creepy.
That's wild. Like actually trying to think of who drew that and what inspired that.
But yeah, that was cool.
Dude, thanks for sharing.
It was just the place we were at though in southern Utah is like there's one that's called like the Robber's Roost. I'm sure.
Robber's Roost.
And it was like there's just so much history with like Native Americans there, American outlaws, like Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid, stuff like that. They use this area. They'd go rob like Dom was saying Wells Fargo used to have like carriages, right?
Yeah.
Moving all their money. So they just go rob that carriage, shoot that dude, take the carriage and take it up in this area. And I don't know, it was just
filled with slot canyons and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you could feel like a presence there. It was cool. But yeah, that was my weekend. Just real quick.
That's dope.
Then let's get to it.
Let's roll, yo. 15.
13.
13.
7.
I got a 9.
So it's me, Charles, then Sean.
Dope.
Dude, I'm excited. I feel like I haven't gone first in a while, which it doesn't really matter, but nonetheless, we're here. Dude, I am stoked for tonight's story.
Woohoo!
I have been texting people, reading submissions, and scouring the internet since 10 a.m. this morning and did not find a story that I was satisfied with until 3:30. Took me a while, and even then I was just starting, like when I first started the story, I was like, this is it. I just felt it. And as it went on, I knew that there was a lot to talk about. So I'm going to have my notes to help me. But so a few years ago, do you remember the abandoned hospital/asylum in Provo?
Yeah.
And there was that broken Ouija board
Yep.
at the bottom level. Folks, this was at night, and this was several staircases down underground.
Yeah.
Several flights of stairs going down, right?
At least.
Yeah.
At least 2.
Yep.
And the very bottom one, it's all pitch black, if you didn't have flashlights, of course. But you found the Ouija board broken in half on the table, and you were going to go touch it.
And then I yelled at him.
Almost.
Why?
I don't know.
Just
because.
But because, be cool.
Yeah, dude, it would have been so
Dude, that would have
dope.
been cool. Why did you yell at him?
Well, you can actually watch this video clip on one of our highlights under adventures. But I yell at Sean and I say, Sean, don't touch it. Like a straight brat. Because I was I was scared. For some reason, I couldn't explain it. But I was nervous that there was a reason why it was ripped in half on this table. Like someone was trying to get rid of it or like break its power or something. And they were leaving it there. So I don't know. I just had a feeling inside, don't touch it.
What about you? Are you glad you didn't, or do you wish you had?
I'm indifferent. Like, I don't care that I didn't, and I don't care that if I would have, I wouldn't have cared either way.
Did it ever cross your mind to bring it home with you?
No.
Is
Like,
there any
to bring the Ouija board home with me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Is there any reason you would?
Any reason I would? If someone had said you won't.
I think we said that last episode.
If someone challenged Sean, he would have.
No.
I wouldn't have brought it home just because, like I said, I'm indifferent about it. But if someone had said, oh, you won't do that, I would have brought it home.
But are there any personal reasons why you would bring it home?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah. Well, congratulations. You're a normal person. So this will all come into play with my story. It's about a New York man. This happens about 4 years ago. So a New York man and his self-proclaimed atheist friend are taking a hike. And they're hiking in the Catskills. So I looked it up on Google
Those
Maps.
are wild.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you know about them?
They're just super easy to get lost in, and they call them Catskills because you're up on ledges on these mountains, and it's kind of the equivalent of cats walking along fences.
Makes sense. You've heard of it as well?
I've heard of them.
I have never heard of these. So I looked it up on Google Maps. It's like if you go straight up from New York City, and then if you go straight west from there, then you go towards Buffalo. So it's pretty far inland. It's this mountain range, and they're hiking there. They're familiar with the area, and this area that they're in is notoriously known amongst the locals as the grounds for devil worshippers to go and sacrifice animals. So they're not
Chill.
chill. They're not
That's
necessarily
what TripAdvisor says.
Yelp reviews.
1 out of 5 stars.
Their cloaks did not match.
Think we can all agree the masks could have been a little better.
So they're not necessarily looking for anything spooky. They just want to go on a hike. And
Did they know that going into this?
They did. They were aware of it, but
That wasn't the reason they were going.
it wasn't the reason they were going.
okay.
Yeah. So while they're hiking, as all natural explorers do, they decide to go off the trail to explore a bit more.
Of course.
So they're way off the path when they happen upon a cave. This is midday on a Sunday. So with the amount of sunlight spilling into the cave, they feel fine. They're not worried at all. So they decide to venture in. And it doesn't take them long for them to discover a fire that looked like it was put out just that morning. Embers are low. There's smoke slowly rising from the ashes. And right next to the fire, they find a statue. And in their exact words, it has nails in its eyes and a noose around its neck.
Oh, someone is pissed.
I have a picture of this.
Oh, snap.
Is this a situation where you're like, Sean, you won't take that home?
I would pull a
You would pull it. Don't touch that.
yeah. I would pull out our secret
Okay, I see you.
our
I see
secret password to make you not do it.
Y'all ready to see this?
you. Yes.
No.
All right. Here it is.
I don't like that.
Ew, they had to have touched it.
Yeah, because, oh, yeah. Did someone take this home?
Okay. Ew.
Just describe what you see first.
First of all, most oftentimes when you see things like this, even in movies, it's like, that's so clearly a prop. Or you got that at Spirit's Halloween store, bro.
Zerchers.
Yeah.
Party land. Party city.
Yeah. Get that Halloween trash out of my face. This is not that case. That reminds me of when we went to that antique store in Salt Lake City and we were looking at those things from Africa that are like from the 1800s. Something about that just rings so authentic to me. I don't know. It's
It
like
looks
hand-carved
authentic.
old wood that's like aged and stained. I don't know.
I
That's
thought
creepy.
Blair Witch Project.
So it's like an effigy. It's probably like 8 inches tall, and it's a carving of a person, pretty crude.
Yeah.
But you can distinctly see like eyes,
A
nose,
face, yeah.
mouth, and then a head, and then a body. And yeah, it has like 2 or 3 nails in each eye.
And then
And
a
an-
noose around the neck.
Yeah, noose. That's like
Ew.
made perfectly out of like twine, put around its neck. And it's in this cave.
Yeah. It's about a foot long. And this was posted on Reddit under the paranormal subreddit. And somebody comments saying, after spending some time in this part of the world, it looks like the design is like West African. I don't know how much-
voodoo, baby.
Yeah. I don't know how it looks like a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
I don't know how much credibility that has, but it doesn't strike me with any other culture outside of, some type of African.
Or Caribbean.
Yeah. But yeah, they find this statue. Immediately, our main protagonist, not the atheist friend, he's creeped out. Doesn't want to touch it. But
I'm just picturing like Sean and Jordan. Like Sean's like whatever, and Jordan's like, bro, no, bro, dude, bro, no,
Yeah.
we gotta go.
dude, that sounds accurate. Homeboy is super creeped out. But his atheist friend is not at all. And decides to take it home with him.
Well, See, that's where we would differ, in my opinion. I would take it and leave it in someone else's home.
That's a terrorist act, dude.
It's like sneezing on someone, bro. That's a terrorist act right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he takes it home against his friend's judgment and his own better judgment. They finish their hike and they're in their own separate homes. It's now Wednesday, so 3 days later after their hike. And our main character here, his phone goes off. It's about 11:30, and it's his friend, his atheist friend. I don't know why I'm saying that too much as if it super matters. I think it...
No, it just helps me differentiate who's who.
Yeah, but also I think he gets to the point where, you know, him being an atheist, he doesn't really believe anything spiritual,
Supernatural.
Supernatural, evil. So that's why from the get-go he was skeptical of it, didn't give it any power, took it with him.
To the point where he's like, I don't care, I'll take this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So his friend calls him, his atheist friend calls him, and his voice is shaking. And he says, since day one, I have heard relentless knocking on my doors,
I just got
loud
creeped.
banging on my walls, and this putrid smell of pond water.
Oh, nope. That's a bad sign.
Pond water?
Yep. It's like the
like
the sulfuric
It's
pond
rotten
water.
eggs.
Yep.
Yep.
Dude, demons, bro.
Demons. Demons.
Our main character, on the other hand, is not really taking this seriously
He probably
because
thinks
he
he's
knows
getting
his friend.
pranked.
Yeah, he thinks so he thinks it's a bluff, and he's hearing him out. He's like, whatever, dude. And his atheist friend is saying, no, this is happening. This has been happening, and I've been losing sleep over it. And he says, well, come over. And he says, well, I'll come over tomorrow. It's late at that point. So they hang up. After they hang up, atheist friend decides that he's going to try to go to sleep to just kind of get away from all of this. Not sure why, but he leaves this statue. He holds on to the statue. But not only that, he keeps it with him in his room, his bedroom. I'm not exactly sure where in the bedroom. It sounds like it was close to his bed, like on a nightstand or on a desk. But in his bedroom, and fortunately, he falls asleep. A few hours into his sleep, he wakes up to the sound of loud barking. He has dogs.
Whew.
I was like, oh gosh, I was almost so concerned.
But his dogs are very good dogs.
And they're still barking.
They're barking in the middle of the night. He gets up to try to quiet them down, and they're calming down. After some time of him consoling them, they start to quiet down, and he lays back down. And as he lays back down, he's scanning his room with his eyes. He notices the statue is no longer in his room. That point, he's very alarmed, but wants to know where it is. So he gets out of bed, and he walks to his bedroom door, and he turns the knob and opens it. And he cannot believe what he is seeing. When he opens his door, he sees that on the carpet are muddy, bare footprints that lead towards the end of the hallway and around the corner. His curiosity gets the best of him, and he follows these footprints.
Learn your lesson, bro.
And as he's doing this, he says that he's sick because of how bad the smell is. It's somehow worse than it has been the past couple of days. And when he's about to round the corner, he says that he can hear whispering. So curious as to who or what is whispering, he turns the corner and sees the statue in his living room, standing upright. That point, he wraps it up in a cloth. I think it's like a pillowcase. And he heads to his friend's house. You're like, I'm not going through this alone, dog. So when he gets to his friend's house, he tells him everything. His friend believes him at this point because of how visibly shaken he is, knowing the type of person he is. So this is where they go to Reddit and they post the pictures from when they first found it and the experience that they had. And they say, what do we do?
What were some of the answers they got?
What would you do, though?
I would take it back.
Honestly, I would look for anyone who might have experience with this. I do have cousins from Haiti. I have 9 Haitian cousins. But going to Reddit might be like one of my top 3 choices. Being like, yo, I need help. My thought is replace the item.
What do you mean replace the item?
Take it right back to the cave.
Okay. Yep.
Apologize and back away. And maybe like our friend Tom from Excellent Movie Adventure.
Yeah.
Just kind of state, I'm sorry I took it. I did not believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like make a statement and leave.
Yeah.
That might be my gut reaction. Another one, possibly more dangerous, destroy it. But I'd be very nervous because that might mean unleashing something, making you the target of the hate. I don't know.
Give it to someone you hate.
Sean, you freaking terrorist, dog. Sean's like, I go to my ex's house. Bury it under her porch.
Take it to Jordan's house. See what happens. Sorry, I would never do that. Just kidding, I would.
Guys, the comment section was rife with a lot of these suggestions. A lot of people were saying take it back. Some people were saying go the extra
Exercise.
mile and take gifts as well.
Offering.
Yeah.
Offerings
A dead
just
animal.
to like overcompensate,
Yeah.
as part of like their, I guess, repentance. But one common thing that I found in the comments that creeped me out, and you touched on it, is people were saying, do not burn it.
I just got chills for the 3rd time, dude.
Do not burn it.
You don't want to unleash anything.
Exactly. And I don't know if I've really thought about that before. I feel like, okay, and I guess embarrassing to say, my resume goes as far as movies and TV shows. But that always seems like the end game is to like destroy it.
Isildur.
Isildur,
Throw it
throw it
into
into
the
the fire. Or the Elder One, he breaks it in half and throws it over the bridge. Just getting rid of it. But people were saying do not burn it because whatever is inside of it or possessing this object will then not have an object to occupy. Its spirit can be freed.
And you look
and
real
will
tasty.
Will look for something else to occupy. So they're like, okay, I guess we'll take it back. I think they were hesitant to take it back because they didn't want to give it back to the source of where it came from.
Also, you don't want to run into the person who is there.
Yeah. Or even if you don't, like, I think they were thinking, whoever made this or helped contribute to what this is, we don't want them to come in contact with this again to, I don't know, be more powerful, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. So many different thoughts, running through their head. Till one comment responds to them. This man introduces himself. He's the owner of the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult.
I think he's been on Mysterious Universe before.
I've looked them up and they have an influence.
Is it a couple?
Yes.
I think they've been on Mysterious
Okay,
Universe
cool.
several times.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have wild stories.
Dude, that's good. I love that you are confirming that.
The
Because
difference between them and us is they like throw themselves into these stories. We hear about them, we talk about them. Yeah. They go to the place. They take the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's all part of the rest of this story. So he comments and he says, hey, I'm from, this museum. We specialize in these kind of things. I'm sorry, I can't pay you, but if you want to get this off of your hands, I'd be happy to, and I can update you on our studies and our findings on this. So that's the option they decide to go with. They send it to this owner of this museum of the paranormal and the occult. So we have listeners who we love and are grateful for. Many of you have sent stories. Thank you. But ain't nobody has sent us a wooden doll with nails in its eyes.
I'm going to
And
go
a
ahead and say it now.
noose around its neck. Yeah. And
Don't.
please don't.
Yeah, bro. I ain't trying to mess with that, dog.
Y'all don't need to.
We're chill. We're chill.
We said the difference between us and them, that couple of the museum, we're fine with that difference. So,
Bro, we sit on the side and comment.
yeah.
They be jumping in that.
Yeah.
Deep end.
We're perfect on the side. Like, we chill.
Yeah. So, these two dudes, our main character and his atheist friend, who, honestly, in my opinion, is pretty sure is going to hell. Just kidding.
I'm not one to judge, but hell.
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
Undercooked fish, overcooked fish.
Believe it or not, hell.
Hell. Okay. So the name of the owner of this museum is Greg Newkirk. So you can look up their museum, you can look up his name. They come up first thing on the search and find these stories. And we'll post these pictures on Instagram as well, by the way. So he extends the invitation for them to send this statue, and the day finally comes where he's opening the box and he sticks his hands inside the box and he clutches a pillowcase. He can feel a wooden statue and he knows this is what he's been waiting for. Takes it out of the pillowcase. It's a statue that was found in that cave. The nails are in its eyes, the noose is around its neck. And as he does with all objects they receive, he takes pictures of it, front, back, the entire profile. He takes notes and he sets it off to the side. He has some errands to run that day with his wife, and he locks up the office and they head out for a few hours. Greg has this to say when speaking about receiving these types of objects from people all over the world. He says, when you've been sent countless, quote, haunted objects through the years, it's hard to shake the preconceived notion that the creepy porcelain clowns, weird paintings, and African idols will never live up to their alleged reputations. They rarely do. So for us, the arrival of the Crone, which is what he's named the statue, Crone, the Crone. So for us, the arrival of the Crone was just another day at the office. However, the 6 months that followed proved us wrong. So those following 6 months is what I want to finish on, and that will be available for our patrons. So if you're a patron, look out for this story. It'll come out soon, before the end of the weekend. Mm-hmm. If you're not, link in our bio. Check it out. I won't say any more.
You dirty dog.
What's up, patrons? Thanks for being here. We're going to continue the story about the Crone, the statue found in the cave in New York by two men on a hike.
All right, I'm up. In researching kind of the topic, there is your story kind of reminded me. There is an Australian Aboriginal legend or folklore, and it's about I forgot the name, so I apologize, but it's about the spirits of the forest or the bush that take the shape of children. And
Hey,
listen. So much like most cultures around the world, there are spirits that reside around forest, or the bush is what the Aussies call like nature.
haha, you said bush.
Out in the bush. But they live near there, and their sole purpose is to lure people into them.
Like sirens of the forest.
Exactly. And so I think most cultures around the world have that, right? But what's unique about these spirit children is all of their feet are turned around backwards.
Bro, that was like me and my skateboarding accident.
DJ was half of that.
Yeah.
And the reason their feet are turned around is once they lure you into the forest and you try to follow them, you get confused and you get lost. And then anyone who's following you gets confused and gets lost. But that just reminded me with the footprints.
I didn't even think of that. That's Boy. What them feats do.
That reminds
Clever.
me of that one, my cousin Audrey, her friend who went camping in the Uintas, and he woke up in his hammock with 2 sets of footprints right behind his hammock.
Dude, that's one of my favorite stories
Bro,
that you've told.
me too. Like, not because I told it, but when I did.
Because I'm so sick at stories, you know?
Like, but anyway, okay. Just to like warm us up, I wanted to show you guys a list of photos from Australia. So I lived for 2 years in Australia. I love Australia. There's a lot of things I hate about Australia. And if you are new to living or you've never been on the internet, you might not know how crazy Australia is.
Basically, everything in Australia is trying to kill you. That's the joke /
Truth.
yeah.
The goddamn truth. If there's a poisonous snake or spider, it probably lives in Australia. Or like amphibious or like sea type thing, it lives in Australia, right? Like the 9 most poisonous snakes in the world live in Australia. The 9 out of 10 most poisonous spiders.
Steve Irwin, come on.
So we're just going to go over some photos real quick just to warm us up. But here's the first one.
Nope.
So when do you describe what we're seeing?
A vampire is
Dracula, dude.
Okay, the title of this picture is Mega Bat.
that is at least 3 feet tall.
This is coronavirus right here. It's
Looking like a mega
all right, dog, mate. Yeah, the C word is Australia's favorite word. It can mean everything and anything. So
good and bad.
yeah, for real. If you're a dog, it's bad. If you're
a
mad,
cheeky,
it's good.
yeah.
Anyway, so this is a bat that's like 3 feet tall, just hanging on someone's roof and just staring in at them.
There's a Komodo dragon 10 feet up somebody's wall,
Just waiting to pounce on the next person that passes.
knocking on their door with dominoes in its hand.
So I think this is King Koopa. It's a lizard that's like...
It's Bowser.
Mario, we found him. He's holding Peach. No. Yeah, it's just a huge lizard.
Oh, the huntsman spider.
Bro, he is real close to that.
So this next photo is a huntsman spider, and it looks like a face sucker from...
Alien.
Alien.
The xenomorph.
Yeah.
Spawn. The huntsman spider, dude, I've seen videos of people going to grab pots to trap that thing on the wall, and then they get to it and they're like, oh, this 50-gallon pot is not big enough.
Yeah.
Let me go grab one of my storage containers.
Get the kiddie pool out back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're huge. To describe how truly big and terrifying huntsmans are, they're not venomous. They're still just alarming.
They're Aragog.
Yeah. You can hear their footsteps when they walk. Like a tick, 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 tick. Like no other spider, you're like, oh, I can hear it. But this dude, you're like...
Tell me the last time you audibly heard a spider
Yeah.
in the next room.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Snake eating a fully grown adult crocodile.
Yeah. Even the trees are trying to kill you in Australia.
The headline of this picture says, pine cone. Pine cones have been reported to kill people when falling. This pine cone is the size and weight of a bowling ball.
It's like 2 bowling balls, dude, like stacked on top of each other.
Like a teenager is holding it up and it's completely eclipsing its body. Yeah, but could you imagine hearing one of these things fall? It would be like,
It's like
your
it's
neighbors on 4th of July.
You
bro,
have
with
any
the cannonball.
PTSD, you're done, dude.
yeah. And I think down under they say pine cones don't melt steel beams or something.
Wrong,
Erase
mate.
that. Not funny. Kangaroo that looks like Terry Crews.
Dude, okay, so there's different kangaroos. There's like the grays, the regular gray
The
kangaroos.
grays.
They're everywhere. They're like squirrels in America. They're just everywhere.
So nobody in Australia cares.
No. Like I've gone by fields of like hundreds, right?
Yeah. It's normal to them. Tourists is like,
Yeah. Oh,
Kangaroo Jack.
Mate. You what, mate? But every once in a while, you see what is known as like the red kangaroo. And those mofos are huge. And I only saw them a couple times in my 2 years living there. But one time I distinctly remember being bored. We were driving a long drive. We were coming back to the house. And I look out in this field and I see this T-Rex size kangaroo. It's like bent over and I'm looking at it. I'm like, that thing is huge. And it stands up to its full height and looks at the car and like squares up to us. It was 6 feet plus. I promise. It was terrifying.
It's so, dude, that thing has so much definition in its arms and chest. Put me to shame. Not only does it pay for a gym membership, the red kangaroo also has like a special to the tanning salon. It looks good.
Yeah, it's all tan.
Oh, look at those claws.
Bro, that thing's scurry.
It's got the nails of a bag lady.
But there are stories of kangaroos that live in the middle of Australia, which is basically not populated.
Yeah.
So in Australia, over 90% of the population live on the coast.
Yep.
And then other than that, no one lives in the middle.
All no man's land.
It's just Ayers Rock
Like
and
like 15 Aboriginals and kangaroos.
on walkabout.
Yeah. But there's stories of 12-foot reds. So people have gone out in the bush, like in helicopter expeditions and stuff, and sworn they have seen 12-foot reds hopping like 60-foot hops and just like clearing land. And honestly, could be
wearing sweaters and aviators, rapping. Do you remember that?
Is that Kangaroo Jack?
Kangaroo Jack.
I ain't never seen that, dog.
Oh yeah, me
Dude,
neither.
that was a classic, bro.
90s classic.
So here's one of just a casual crocodile.
That crocodile is the size of a mini school bus.
That's terrifying. Miss Frizzle drives that thing.
Bro, I just watched Lake Placid for the first time a little bit ago, and that's what that looks like. Just a 20-foot crocodile.
Bro, I saw that when I was like 8, and that put me on my ass. That movie scared me. That old lady was feeding that crocodile cows.
That picture was the inspiration for the Japanese cult classic Godzilla. Gojira.
Oh,
Is that a mantis?
Dude, I don't know what the
it
hell
has
that is.
taken your child.
This one is a 6-year-old kid, and there's a bug on its back, and it's as tall as its torso.
I'm sorry, child. You're done.
Yeah. You can have it. Okay, so this is something in Australia they call spider frost. Can you describe what spider frost is?
It looks like
Snowfall. A fresh layer of snow.
So it looks like a fresh inch of snow, but what it actually is this entire park blanketed in spider webs.
nope.
So I've said it before and I'll say it again. I never knew the extent of spider webs, what they fully could be, but I have legitimately seen spider webs from the ground all the way up to power lines. And when I went up to break them, I like swiped at it and it didn't break. And I was like, what the hell?
Like this is Spider-Man spider webs.
Yeah. I had to grab it and physically like pull
Then
with force. And it was
Shelob
like,
shows up and just
That park bench has more webs than any haunted house I've been in.
just another huntsman. This one,
I'm not about
no,
that,
dog.
bro.
just a little tickle on your pickle. You know what I'm saying?
Huge worms in the toilet.
It's not a worm, dog.
That's
Centipedes,
a
snake.
bro.
That's a brown snake. One of
Oh,
the most-
that's all one thing.
yeah.
I thought those were 3 different.
So this is one of the most poisonous snakes in the world.
Just
Casually wrapped up under the rim of a toilet.
Soon to be wrapped around another rim.
Oh, dude, no, thank you. Yeah. And then the next photo is that toilet completely bashed with a mallet.
Good move.
I don't know what this is, bro. Just things are broken down there.
Toads they're like
Riding on
50
a python?
toads riding on a python, yeah.
Why?
Because Australia. Dead whale filled with gas on the brink of exploding. It looks like a buoy in the ocean. The size of a hot
meat
air
buoy.
balloon.
When that does explode, bro.
This is it's only found in one specific volcano in Australia, but it's a hot pink slug.
I don't like that, dude.
That just looks like a bloody turd with horns.
I've blown that thing out my nose before.
That looks like one of those things in Kong Skull Island. You know when
Yeah.
he eats Andy Serkis in the head?
Oh yeah, when they're all down there, like the swamp thing
Yeah,
or whatever.
dude, terrifying.
A frog eating a snake.
Because why not?
A python in a local store.
I mean, it's got a shop for clothes too.
Is that a Savers?
Hairy
shiz,
caterpillars.
bro.
That is
Just on March.
There's one more that the reason I'm going through this whole list is there's one more I want to go through that like creep me out.
that caterpillar is the size of a U.S. grade submarine.
I
That's
think these
like,
are like
1,000.
They're all lined up marching.
Oh. Well, it looks like one long one.
This one effed me up. I don't know why.
An earthworm. Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
but why? Why?
I hate that.
Okay, so the length, the girth, familiar. The length, not so much.
Desirable. To be desirable. I hate us. Like, think of a standard salami. That's about how thick it is. What are those called?
A summer sausage.
Yeah. And then the length is like 3 feet, 4 feet. Earthworm.
What fish are you trying to catch with that?
Dude.
The alligator from the
Godzilla.
beginning.
Trying
Yeah.
to catch sharks, bro.
Oh, dude.
I don't like that, dude.
Next.
First of all, ew. Nope.
Those spiders are nopes,
Nope.
bro.
Oh, nope. Nope.
Ugh.
Oh. Okay, sorry. I'm taking so much time. Okay.
I need to see this. Felt a tickle on my leg.
Ew.
You felt the tickle on your leg. You didn't see a massive giant bug climbing up your leg.
3 pounds of insect on your leg.
Like, wow, I feel like I just gained 3 pounds on my leg.
All right,
I'm
so
feeling
there's
calf heavy today.
a tons of different stories in Australia. I'm just going to cover a couple. But there are a lot of weird sightings in Australia. Australia is like pretty much untouched. Like there's a large portion of it that is not, what's the right word?
Habitated.
Yeah, habitated, industrialized, or like
Yeah.
built upon. It's like 90% rural. Anyway, this comes from a person who went by the name of SSTID1. Like STD1 or something like that. Something like that. SSTDI.
MISSISSIPPI
And
ING. Yeah.
So he said his brother-in-law, who was a park ranger for 35 years, had this experience. And he was in the...
Close Cusco?
Sure. National Park, which is a national park in New South Wales, Australia. So he was out one day. He knows this land. He's Aboriginal himself. He knows this land like the back of his hand. And he's riding on his horse, and his horse stops dead in its tracks. And something has very obviously spooked it. It will not move. So this has happened to him before, looks down the path and he's expecting to see a dead animal, a large snake, something of that sort, right? And so he gets down off of his horse, looks, there's nothing. Can't see anything. Interesting. Goes back to his horse, and after a lot of coaxing, manages to move it 15 feet up the path. So he gets back on his horse, and as he's mounting his horse, he looks up into the trees that was by the path where it originally stopped, and he sees a dead kangaroo.
Those things die?
But this kangaroo is way up in the tree,
Oh, frick, dude.
wedged between the trunk and a branch.
Oh.
Yep. Nope.
Now, the reason that this freaks him out is there are no predators who would be pulling a kill up into a tree. Because in Africa, large cats, leopards, lions, tiger, whatever, they pull a kill up their tree so no one else will mess with it. Nothing like that in Australia. So he sees that and is immediately freaked out. Takes off.
Not a drop bear or
Or it could have been what the Aboriginals call the hairy man.
Was it the Yowie?
Yowie.
Ooh. There's different names for it. There's the Yahoo or the Yowie. But anyway, yeah, the hairy man. So he said his brother-in-law didn't say outright he thought it was the hairy man or the Yowie. But when they brought it up, or whenever it was brought up as a possible explanation, he said, I mean, that's as plausible as any other. Because there was like no other explanation he could think of. All right. So, funnily enough, less than 200 kilometers away from where that guy had that experience with the kangaroo, there is a very famous sighting of what could be a Yowie or a Yahoo. So, in 1893, this dude named Arthur Marin, he is a local businessman. He makes a drink called cordial, which is what they drink down there. Mm-hmm. It's basically Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid with a little bit of liquor.
Yeah, there you go. So he's making that. He is delivering something to another town. So he's on his horse-drawn carriage and he's with his dog. And as he's going, much like this other story, his dog freaks out. So he, thinking it's a snake or something, hops off his carriage and starts looking for what it is. And as he goes into the darkness, he says, a hairy creature over 6 feet tall jumps out of the darkness and lunges at him. So he grabs a rock and bashes this fool in the head. This thing falls to the ground. He pulls out his pistol and he finishes the job with the butt of his gun. But
oh frick! I thought you were talking about the hairy thing.
yeah,
The hairy thing pulled out its gun.
No. It's back and run. No. Our homie Arthur. Is that the thing? Yeah. So he just casually takes out his gun and is like, all right. You know?
Pistol whip that. I played Grand Theft.
Yeah. But he has a delivery to make. So he jumps on his horse-drawn carriage, makes the delivery. While in town, he decides to go to the police because he thinks, I potentially just killed a man. So he goes to the police and he goes, hey, I was attacked. I killed this thing. Not quite sure what it is. In the morning, him and the police officer go back out and retrieve the body. And they take it back to his hometown, where they display it for several days outside of his factory. And a ton of people come from all around to look at this thing because they don't know what it is, including a local reporter who writes up a whole story on it.
That's the man that got attacked?
I think that's his grandson.
Oh, this is a while ago.
1893.
Damn.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So I know I said he said it was 6 feet long. He did say that, but this is what the reporter said. It was 4 feet long, 11 inches across. Okay, so I guess that's just across, not the height. So it was 4 feet long, 11 inches across. The forehead had a face very much like a polar bear. It weighed over 7 stone or 44 kilograms. Do you know what that is in LBSs?
And freedom.
In freedom pounds.
Freedom
like-
units.
That's like 100 and something. 112. 97.
97.
Not too heavy. Its forearms were very strong with great paws that would be capable of giving a terrible grip. And it was a tan color like a possum with strong hair on its skin, which is kind of weird because the last week you talked about Crash, how he saw that bipedal thing with tan fur. And for some reason I did not like that. And then to see it again. Anyway, so this reporter writes about it. This thing becomes a huge issue in the community. People are giving the paper a problem for printing this. They eventually have to back down. They never retract what they say. They never denied it. They just stopped talking about it and stopped commenting. His wife is, first of all, disgusted that they're displaying this dead animal And she doesn't like all the hullabaloo, so she makes him bury it. So he digs a shallow grave near the factory and buries this thing. So this thing has a reporter, tons of townsfolk, a policeman, and this guy who all claim they've seen this. And they have no idea what animal it is. And it's very well documented. At some point, the body is moved in a suspicious way. And they don't know where it is. So,
Wait, the body moved? Or
It was moved.
left?
it was moved because they
Oh.
buried it in a shallow grave right near the factory. So people have gone back and they've looked all around this factory for like bones.
It's gone.
And there's a couple accounts of it being moved in a very sketchy way, like without telling people or something.
Or maybe it went Kill Bill and broke itself out.
Wow.
Well, it was dead. So
And then nicely put everything back.
till this day, what it was under great disputation, highly disputed. But the fact that there was something unidentifiable and something that no one had seen before has never been disputed. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, could be.
The Yowie.
Anyway, thanks for letting me go to Australia. There's so much more. I'm going to do a lot more research, future episodes about Australia, but I just wanted to introduce it a little.
Everything wants to kill you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That sounds Australia.
Anyway, that's me tonight.
Nice, nice. So earlier, when you're telling your story about the one of the hikers waking up in the middle of the night, it reminded me of something. Did either of you get that Amber Alert about a week or so ago
Saturday night?
that came in at 3 in the morning?
3:33.
Yeah. Bro. So I sleep with earplugs on, and
Why do you do that?
just because I'm a very, very light sleeper.
Oh. I thought it was because you lived with DJ. That's what I was trying to get at.
Nice try, dog.
Thwarted.
So I hear this go off at 3:33. Just, the typical Amber Alert that wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
And like it wakes me up with these earplugs on, and I kind of like groggily open my eyes, turn off my phone, and I swear I hear something with my earplugs on. So if I did hear something, it had to have been loud. And I've been by myself at the house for like the last week almost. So I hear something, and I like take one of my earplugs out. I don't hear anything again, but I also don't have a lock on my door. So I'm like, I'm not going to risk it. Like reach over to my table, grab my buck knife, and I unclip it and like lay it right by my pillow. I was like, I'm not taking any risks.
Dude,
right
that's
now.
smart, honestly.
I always am hesitant sleeping with a knife by you because what if you fall asleep and then someone who wants to kill you is like, oh, convenient.
Yeah.
Like, there's a knife by his
You
head.
made this easy. It's your knife.
See, no, but like I'm still a light sleeper. So if someone opens the door, I'm going to wake up, especially with one of my earplugs out now. So I was like, I'm definitely going to wake up if something comes in, but now I'm going to be prepared. But dude, the creepiest thing was the Amber Alert, but it didn't give any info.
It just said Amber Alert.
Yeah, because typically it'll say,
Well, what are you supposed to be looking out for?
exactly?
It's just like, alert, y'all.
Yeah, it was just like,
Look alive.
wake up at 3:33 tonight. It was super creepy,
That was eerie.
and it was
It
like,
gave no details.
no
That's
detail.
weird.
it was.
That's annoying too.
Oh yeah, it was super annoying. And then all of a sudden, I'm like heightened awareness, like grabbing my buck knife, like
It kind of reminds me of the missile alert in Hawaii.
oh,
Dude, I was not there for that.
Real quick, we on the mainland heard that, and I think most people were like, haha, that's kind of funny. Like, oh man, someone messed up, like whatever. But I've heard stories from Hawaiian people on Hawaii, and it was like they legitimately thought they were about to die. They were throwing their kids into sewers because like they didn't know what to do. Because they all get a message on their phone, and it says like, missile attack imminent. You are all gonna die.
Yeah, my family called me after they said it was a mistake. And I was like, bye. Like, if it wasn't a mistake. So
Thanks, Ma.
I made it about me, you know. No, it was
It's just
crazy.
nice to know where you fall. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Damn, dope.
Fucking cool, man. Damn.
It is nice to know where I am. And
Oh God, that's hilarious.
they're like, he didn't graduate from college.
There was this one time he cut up his Dragon Ball Z jacket.
He peed on our floor.
Okay, come to think of it though, your parents do like have an excuse.
Yeah.
You know? You were a little shit.
I am pretty terrible.
But
Okay, wait, sorry.
It took 17 minutes, right?
On the real though, my family all experienced it. and
Lived it.
Lived it. They have T-shirts. My grandma said she was at the beach, and they got the alert while she was at the beach, and she was by Ala Moana, which is a big mall near Waikiki, and she said everybody on the beach started sprinting to the mall to get indoors, running, jaywalking. There's traffic going.
Pandemonium.
Yeah, pandemonium.
Chaos.
It's crazy. And yeah, they thought they were going to die.
So someone legitimately in the government made a mistake, sent out a mass text to Hawaii.
And there is a chain of, not like a chain of command or like a process. It's not like
He didn't bump
it's
his
not a light switch.
elbow
Yeah.
on a
Yeah,
button.
Yeah, exactly. There's like things you have to go through in order to send out that crisis alert to 1.4 million people.
So people are seriously thinking they're going to die. They all get this text, missile attack imminent, like get to shelter. That parents are throwing their kids down sewers because they're thinking maybe the pipes will save them. People are crying. People are dying. People are calling their loved ones, not DJ's parents. Yeah, and I think for 17 minutes they think this before they send out another text being like, "Oops, oops, my bad."
A JK. LOL.
You dumb Hawaiians.
Not
Aloha.
gonna happen.
So anyway, that's kind of effed up.
Oh yeah,
Shout out DJ's grandma. She's dope. I love her. Aloha, grandma.
that's funny. But that's what it reminded me of when we got that Amber Alert at 3:33
That's crazy.
with no info on what we're supposed to be watching for.
It
Just
was
start
creepy.
looking out your window like, I'm alert.
I'm just looking for anything at this point. So the story that I have though comes from the Scottish Highlands,
Oh, you don't say.
giving me another reason to go and visit.
Hey.
Freedom.
So deep within the Scottish Highlands, their biggest national park, the Cairngorms.
That sounds old and full of magic.
Oh yeah.
The Gathering.
So
Dude, that looks like Alpine Loop.
the Cairngorms
Beautiful.
are one of the biggest national parks in northern Scotland and home to the second tallest mountain in the UK. Now,
Big Ben.
Big Ben. It's Ben McDway.
What?
That's what it's called. Ben McDway.
Ben
Ben-
McDway.
Ben McDway.
Yep.
I feel like you just put a spell on me, bro.
Bruh. So these mountains are extremely old, and because of that, have been kind of beaten down by time, and they're just tall, rounded mountains, and they're kind of barren and bleak. Now, deep within the Cairngorms, atop Ben McDway, is a certain something that resides there that's called Fear Lair Moor, translated to the Big Gray Man.
Ew.
Don't like that.
Let me see if I said that though correctly. It's Fear Lair Moor. Yep. And this is translated to the Big Gray Man. There are plenty of sightings One of the most famous was told in 1925 by a J. Norman Collie. He was a scientist and mountaineer. So, by his reputation, he was pretty reputable. And nearly 30 years before this story is being told, in 1891, he took a solo trip to Ben Macdway to summit the mountain. Now, at the time of year he had gone to summit this mountain, there was still some ice pack on top. And he makes it to the top. And then, as he starts to descend now to go back to the bottom, now these are the tallest mountains in the UK, but it's about 4,500 feet. So it's the equivalent of where we are here in Utah. But it's from sea level where they start. So as he starts to descend towards the villages below, he gets this eerie feeling that he's not the only one there. And he kind of starts to quicken his pace. And as he does, he notices the sound of steps behind him. But for every 3 steps he's taking, he can hear 1 step, as if the stride is that of 3 of his.
That's a great descriptor.
Jordan and Sean.
I mean,
I tried so hard, got so far.
You know, what did you say to me, bro?
But in the end, didn't even matter.
Apologies.
back to the Scottish Highlands. As he realizes that these steps are coming behind him, he stops, and he also hears the sound stop. And then he starts to go faster. And at the top of this mountain, because of the snowpack and then the kind of warmth that's coming in for the summer season or the spring season, there's this massive fog over the mountains. So he can't really see much either. All he can tell is that there's a sound coming from behind him. And it's at that point that he is so distressed that he just starts to run. He just starts to run as fast as he can and says that he does for 4 or 5 miles just to get to the bottom of the mountain, to this town. And finally he comes out of the fog that's on top of this mountain as well, never seeing anything, but only hearing it coming from behind him. Now, in this region, they've also had sightings of being in this fog and seeing off in the distance a large, dark figure. And I have a couple pictures.
Bro, there's nothing like fear that would turn your ass into a Kenyan. You know what I'm saying?
So this being one of the first
5
pictures,
miles? What? Okay.
This being up a little bit closer.
Oh,
Don't like that.
that thing is towering.
Yeah.
So both of them, they're shrouded in mist.
And it is apparently only during these times of fog that there are experiences. And when they do have the experiences, they'll never see what it is. They'll only hear it coming from behind them. So that's a little bit of the legend behind it. Now, there have been people who've tried to explain it, that the way that the elevation that they are on these mountains, when the sun hits them, it'll cast their own shadow out onto the fog. And there's actually a term for it. But that doesn't explain the sound of 1 step per 3 strides that you take coming from behind you. Or, and we all know this is a thing, the feeling that we get when something is watching. So that is the very short story of the Big Gray Man.
Dope, dude.
He was cited in the book by Nick Redfern and also, I think, mentioned on Mysterious Universe.
Cool.
What was it called again?
Fear Liamour. But it's spelled weird. It's like, well, fear is normal, and then Liathmor.
To self. We got Bigfoot in Scotland.
The
and
Yowie.
and down under.
Bro. Yep. They've also, allegedly found footprints around the region as well.
Our sighting, well, those are photos, so sightings obviously are recent.
Yeah, but like those sightings, the pictures look like it could be the sun casting your shadow out into the fog.
Even that's a little scary.
Oh yeah, that would be scary.
Like a shadow, but not. No, dude, he ran for 45 miles, didn't trip once. I think
Bro,
of the movie
yeah.
The Ritual.
Bro, yeah.
That dude was walking.
Or any scary movie ever. And someone's running. It's like, all right.
Yeah, y'all tripping.
I mean, it depends on how fast you run in. Like, I mean, I guess I've been running, so I can't talk. But
I'm
like,
impressed by his stamina alone.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Kenyon.
He maxed it out.
He's running for his life from the big gray man, bro.
Cool.
I love the depiction with the lightning. I think you had it on your computer or somebody had the picture.
Oh, right there.
I love that. I love the imagery of having like the lightning give you like a visual aid for a split second
And then it's gone.
and then it's gone. But then you wish that the lighting wouldn't have.
Yeah, you wish
know.
you just would not have seen it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the pictures of it standing in the mist is foreboding.
Yeah. Like, even if that is just a trick of light, that's still terrifying to come across.
For sure. Creepy, man. Tonight was good.
How you guys feeling?
So good.
I'm tired. It's late. We got a late start tonight, but we went on for almost 3 hours. Mainly because we had a good time. So we hope you did too. Once again, thank you for tuning in. To our longtime listeners, for sticking with us. For our new ones, welcome. We hope we give you reason enough to stay.
If you guys have any scary stories, send them into our IG or
Link in our bio
Yep.
has a form where you can just send stories, attach files, audio, photo, video. But we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Danke schön.
Until next time, trust your gut and watch your back.
Bye. Love you. Be safe.
And be careful out there.
Damn you.
I wanted to do that on purpose. I promise I was actually trying, which is even worse.
You're grounded.
Cool. I'm not, though.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.